It's 3:37 on a Wednesday. You've had that important task open on your computer for 40 minutes now. You've already checked email 3 times, opened Instagram just real quick, had coffee again, reorganized your desktop icons by color, and now you're seriously considering cleaning your keyboard with a Q-tip. And there's a voice in your head saying, "This is strategic preparation." No, it's sophisticated avoidance. Your brain is doing anything to avoid starting. And the worst part? You know the task is important. You try to force yourself. Come on, just start. Just start. But your brain responds with an offer. What if we research the topic first? 2 hours later, you're watching a documentary about how they make toothpicks industrially in Finland. You don't need toothpicks. You didn't even know Finland made toothpicks. But your brain is at peace because it won. It sold you the illusion of productivity. And you bought it again. If this happens to you, breathe. It's not laziness. It's a trained pattern. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover 3 things. First, why the brain runs from hard tasks. And no, it's not laziness. Second, the 5-step system that forces your brain to start, even when it's screaming no. Third, a 7-day challenge that reprograms resistance. At the end, you'll have a 2-minute reset that works today, right now. Let's go. I spent years thinking the problem was me. Like, if I were more disciplined, I would just do it. But then one day, I noticed something weird. I could spend 3 hours assembling an IKEA shelf with no manual, with 5 pieces left over, happy as could be. But opening a report, 15 minutes, and I was already looking for a snack. The difference wasn't effort, it was type of effort. The shelf had immediate visual reward. Every piece that fit was like, look, I made progress. The report? Only promise of progress, way down the road, weeks later. And the brain hates promises. It wants gratification now. That's why you binge a series for 4 hours, but can't study for 20 minutes. Netflix delivers dopamine every 40 seconds. Studying only delivers at the test, months later. The brain is addicted to immediate reward, and hard tasks are like long-term investments. The problem isn't you. It's that you're playing a different game than your brain wants to play. So let's talk about what's really going on in there. When you think about doing something hard, like studying, writing a report, calling that annoying client, one part of the brain lights up, prefrontal cortex. That's the responsible adult part. But at the same time, another area lights up too, the amygdala. And it's screaming, danger, discomfort, abort. The amygdala is like a hypersensitive fire alarm. Burnt toast? Alarm. Boring spreadsheet? Alarm. Uncomfortable meeting? Alarm. It doesn't know the difference. And when it screams, the prefrontal cortex, the adult, loses its voice. It's literally an internal war, CEO versus fire alarm. And in the short term, the alarm usually wins. Why? Because the amygdala evolved to save you from lions, and the primitive brain doesn't differentiate between lion and difficult email. Discomfort is discomfort. And you know what's most impressive? Neuroimaging studies show something crazy. The amygdala lights up with the same intensity for a hard task and for a real threat. The brain doesn't differentiate. It's not exaggerating. It really feels like danger. Now, the good news. You can train your brain to tolerate discomfort, not eliminate it, tolerate it. And that changes everything. Here's the map. You're going to learn 5 steps and then apply them in a 7-day challenge. Everyone knows the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. But I'm going to tell you the secret nobody explains. The 2-minute rule isn't to finish the task. It's to trick the initial resistance. Here's how it works. You promise your brain, just 2 minutes. Just open the document. Just write one line. Just put on your shoes. The brain accepts because 2 minutes is too small to negotiate. And then something really important happens. After you start, the resistance usually drops a lot because starting is the hard part. The brain has emotional inertia. Body at rest wants to stay at rest. Body in motion wants to keep moving. I've celebrated 2 minutes like I won a marathon. And you know what? That's how it started. 2 minutes isn't productivity, it's ignition. But wait, 2 minutes only works if you really reduce the task. And that's where step 2 comes in. You're going to reduce the task until it's almost silly, because write the report is a mountain, and the brain goes into panic mode. But open Google Docs is a step, and the brain accepts a step. Magic question. What's the smallest next step possible? Not the ideal, not the perfect, the smallest. Real examples. Not study chemistry, it's open the notebook. Not work out, it's put on your shoes. Not clean the house, it's grab a trash bag. You do only that, and stop if you want. I've written only the title of a document and closed the file, but it was still a victory because I stopped running. Mountain scares, step starts. Now you can start with 2 minutes and reduce the task, but if the brain doesn't feel like it was worth it, it won't come back. And that's where trick 3 comes in. Remember, the brain wants gratification now, so give it some, but strategically. You're going to hack the reward system. How? During the 25 minutes of studying, play a playlist you love. Finished? Mark a giant X on the calendar. Giant X equals visual dopamine. Brain sees it and thinks, look, we did something. Sounds silly? It is, but it works because you're creating a feedback loop. Action, small reward, desire to repeat. I became addicted to marking X's. It was the first useful addiction of my life. If you only apply one step today, apply this one. Create a small, immediate reward. Okay, you're starting. You're creating rewards. But what if running away is still too easy? Then you need step 4. You create friction between you and escape. Small but real. Examples: phone in another room. Website blocker for 25 minutes. Tell someone, I'm doing this now. Talk to you in 15 minutes. You don't need more strength. You need less exit. Because if escaping is easy, you escape. I know this works because I've been defeated by a notification. One single random notification, and there went my focus. Less exit, more focus. Now comes the step that changes the game, because the first 4 make you start, but this one makes you continue. Most people only celebrate when they finish, but that teaches the brain the path is bad and only the destination is good. Flip it. Every time you feel resistance and keep going anyway, celebrate. Like, man, I'm uncomfortable and I still didn't stop. This is training. Because the skill isn't doing hard tasks without feeling anything. It's doing hard tasks despite feeling. That's real strength. And the more you celebrate the act of tolerating discomfort, the more the brain learns. Oh, discomfort isn't an emergency. It's part of the process. I remember the first time this really worked. It was a project I'd been putting off for 3 weeks. Every day I woke up with that weight. Again, didn't do it. And went to sleep thinking, tomorrow I'll start. 3 weeks of that. Until I stopped trying to be ready. I did the 2-minute reset, and 40 minutes later I finished. Not because I changed, but because I stopped waiting for permission from my brain. And when I shared this, hundreds of people said, me too. 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. That's the pattern. Celebrate the discomfort. That's where the muscle grows. Now I'm going to challenge you. 7 days, 1 hard task per day. Doesn't have to be huge. Could be study 15 minutes, make that call, organize a drawer, but it has to be something you normally put off. Day 1, choose the task. Reduce it to 2 minutes, do it, mark X. Day 2, same thing, add small reward, music, visual check. Day 3, go up to 5 minutes, remove 1 escape. phone away. Day 4, 10 minutes, tell someone beforehand. Day 5, 10 minutes, write down how you felt after. Day 6, 10 minutes, celebrate the discomfort, not just the end. Day 7, 10 minutes, write one sentence. What did I do today that was hard? And one last trick, choose a fixed time. Could be 7 a.m., could be 2 p.m., could be 9 p.m., but always the same time, because the brain loves ritual. Spoiler, you're going to feel relieved. Often the anticipation is worse than actually starting. The fear of calling is worse than the call. The fear of studying is worse than studying. And the brain needs to learn this through practice. 7 days is enough time for it to start believing. And if you fail one day, no drama. Come back the next day. Consistency isn't perfection, it's frequency. You don't start over from 0, you start over from the next step. Remember that Wednesday at 3:37 p.m.? You avoiding the task, cleaning your keyboard with a Q-tip? Yesterday, I grabbed the Q-tip again, was going to clean the keyboard. But this time I laughed because I recognized the game. Put the Q-tip away, 2-minute timer, and started. The brain tried to negotiate. I thanked it for the warning and started anyway. The difference now isn't that you became a robot, it's that you understand the game. You know the brain is going to resist, and that resistance doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means the brain is being brain. It's trying to protect you from discomfort. But discomfort isn't danger, it's growth in disguise. The phrase that changed everything for me was this: discomfort isn't a stop sign, it's a sign that it's worth it. And when you internalize that, you stop fighting with your brain and start working with it, 2 minutes at a time. Now I want to hear from you. What's that task, like the one that's been on your list for weeks or months? Drop it in the comments, really specific. Finish the Q3 report, call the dentist, organize the 2023 photos. And when your brain tries to trick you again, do the reset. 2 minutes and start. If this video helped you, subscribe. We do gentle science here, in people language, every week. See you next time.